Good afternoon to you. This is Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Helen Anyewejan. It's now time for the latest news updates here on the program. Coming up this afternoon. Seven persons sustained varying degrees of injury following an accident involving an oil tanker and multiple vehicles at Nima Junction. We have an eyewitness report. Also coming up this afternoon, renowned Ghanaian visual artist Ibrahim Mahama meets with the Police Management Board following an alleged assault involving a police black Maria in Tamale over the weekend. Later on Good Afternoon Ghana, we go one-on-one with the CEO of the Venture Capital Trust Fund, examining the institution's performance and key initiatives so far. We have details of all of this coming up now. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us, and we start from here. 7 persons have reportedly sustained injuries in an accident that occurred at the Nima Junction close to the residence of former President Akufo-Addo. The incident, according to eyewitnesses, occurred when a taxi driver allegedly lost control of his brakes and ran into other vehicles, including a fuel tanker. The situation temporarily disrupted traffic flow, but police officers quickly moved in to control the situation. Here is an eyewitness speaking to Metro News. A renowned Ghanaian visual artist Ibrahim Mahama has met with the Police Management Board as the probe continues into allegations that he was assaulted by police officers. The engagement is expected to provide a further clarity on the circumstances surrounding the incident. My colleague Vanessa Edotombuatin is at the police headquarters and joins us via Zoom to tell us more. Vanessa.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Vanessa, kindly go ahead and tell us what's happening there. Give us the latest on this particular story.
Well, it's important to know that Ibrahim Mahama was invited by the Inspector General of Police to the headquarters regarding the incident, that's the allegation of police assault and brutality. He requested, or he asked, that the incident be transferred to Greater Accra for an expedited investigation. After the meeting, after the closed meeting, he addressed the press and he told us that the management board, where he engaged with top police officials over the incident, says that justice will be served and he should be rest assured that thorough investigation will be conducted into the matter. Now, after that, Director General of the Public Affairs Directorate of the Ghana Police Service, Grace Ansa Akoki, also addressed the press, and she also told us that the Inspector General of Police has assured his full commitment into the investigation. Now, it has been, the whole issue is that it has been alleged that on March 21st, during an incident which Ibrahim Mahama is reported to have been assaulted by individuals believed to be part of the Inspector General of Police's special operations, also known as the Black Maria. The incident reportedly left Ibrahim Mahama, the artist, with dental injuries, including the loss of a tooth, his front tooth, while his uncle, who was driving at the time, also sustained injuries. As part of effort to establish the fact, the IGP Christian Tete Ihulu invited both the artists and then the Northern Regional Police Commander to Accra to assist with ongoing investigation. Now, earlier, the Northern Regional Minister Lee Adolf John disclosed that the matter had been escalated to the IGPS, of course, which has resulted in today's meeting. Yes, so all in all, the IGP has assured of his 100% support and expedited the investigation into the matter and justice to be served at the end of the day.
Okay, so from his demeanor, Ibrahim Mahama, what do you think? Is he okay with what is happening with the police and how they are going about the issue?
Oh yes, he's excited that the Inspector General of Police has taken keen interest in the case. He mentioned that over the years, the police have been of great help to him and his work, and so he's happy that the police is taking, and then at the end of the day, justice is served. He noted that he does not want, he's not after money, so it's just justice. If he's saying that he wants justice to be served, it's justice he wants and not money. So yes, at the end of the day, we are hoping that the police will treat it seriously as it has already, they have already begun. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Vanessa, for that update there. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
We did a press conference already in Tamale and we told you what transpired, that it was an altercation between my uncle and them, and I happened to be sitting in a bus and I was filming, and then the filming agitated and then it led to the assault of both my uncle and I. So that is what caused the whole issue, and we're just trying to get to the bottom of the matter. As we've presented our evidence, so now the police, in their competence as it is, are going to also do the investigations, and wherever it gets to, we'll be very grateful.
The Inspector General of Police extended an invitation to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. Today he came with a delegation to meet with the IGP and members of the Police Management Board. IGP listened to his side of the story and he assured him that investigations will continue till we get to the bottom of this matter. As most of us may be aware, the day the incident occurred, as soon as it came to the IGP's attention, he directed the Police Professional Standards Bureau to commence an investigation. And we assured the public that both the criminal investigation and the professional conduct investigation both will go on alongside, side by side. As we speak, the regional command has done a lot of investigations so far. They've taken statements from Mr. Ibrahim and his team. They have visited the scene. They visited to check up on him at his residence. Today, they have come. IGP has heard them. He has directed, among other things, that the CID, that is the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters, take over the investigations.
Now, away from that, the United Nations General Assembly has adopted a landmark resolution declaring the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as a grievous crime against humanity. The move follows a strong push led by Ghana's President John Dramani Mahama.
The historic vote comes on the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade, a moment of reflection now turned into decisive global action.
It is a day on which we honor the memory of the approximately 13 million African men, women, and children who were enslaved over the course of several centuries.
Moments before the vote, President John Dramani Mahama addressed the General Assembly, calling for truth, justice, and global solidarity in confronting one of history's darkest chapters.
Through these activities, we do more than remember. We document and educate. We gain greater perspective. We find the delicate balance of learning from history so that we do not repeat it while leaving our pain behind.
Ghana led months of consultations with African states, scholars, and legal experts to build consensus around the resolution, framing it as a step toward healing and reparative justice.
This current draft resolution is a result of months of consultation and consensus building by continental bodies, nations, experts, scholars, and jurists, with the sole aim of achieving a united front and grounding the final outcome in truth, compassion, and moral conscience, remembrance, education, and dialogue.
The adoption of the resolution now formally recognizes the transatlantic slave trade at the highest level of international condemnation.
The adoption of this resolution serves as a safeguard against forgetting. It also challenges the enduring scars of slavery.
In his address, President John Dramani Mahama invoked moral leadership, quoting Theodore Roosevelt and Martin Luther King Jr., urging nations to stand on the side of justice.
Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination.
With the resolution now adopted, attention is expected to shift toward what reparative justice could look like and how nations will address the lasting legacy of slavery. Ghana says this is a defining moment, not just in remembering history, but in reshaping the future. Shadrach Odame Ejare, Metro News.
Now, the proposal urging the UN member states to consider apologizing for the slave trade and contributing to a reparations fund was adopted with 123 votes in favor and 3 against. Here is a breakdown. Let's now turn to our screens. Now, Ghana's slavery resolution. Countries that voted in favor was 123. Now, countries that voted against were 3: United States, Israel, and Argentina. Now, countries that abstained were 52 countries. That's including the United Kingdom and European Union member states. Now, the United Nations General Assembly has overwhelmingly approved a Ghana-led resolution declaring the transatlantic slave trade and chattel enslavement of Africans as crimes against humanity, paving the way for the global reparatory justice. Speaking on Good Morning Ghana, Chief Executive Officer for Social Investment Fund, Abbas Nuruddin, commended President John Mahama for setting the foundation for future reparatory justice.
It recognized this not just as an unfortunate episode of history, but the gravest crime against humanity. That for me is very significant. That for me is very symbolic, because within a period of 400 years, Africa was subjected to systematic dehumanization and plunder, whose economic consequences we continue to suffer even up till today. And one particular agency put the cost of slavery, the consequence of slavery on Africans to about $100 trillion. That is the economic value of slavery on the African continent. Quite apart from the economic underdevelopment that Africans suffered as a result of slavery, it has kind of edged a certain scar on our psychology and created the impression that Africans or black people are inferior and the black people is not capable of managing his own affairs. It is important to also make the point that even though the resolution in and of itself has no legal effect at the moment, it is legally non-binding, it has set the foundation for future reparatory justice claim to be made.
A communication team member of the New Patriotic Party, Aaron Esiedo Entry, called on John Dramani Mahama-led administration to give former President Akufo-Addo some credit.
I listened to my brother and is able to go and commend Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, jump a lot of former presidents and go to the first president of this country in 1960 to congratulate him. Even forgetting that his own John Rawlings also spoke about this conversation. The Obasanjos in Africa, in Nigeria, have spoken about it when they were all serving at the AU. What would it take from the NDC to commend that? In fact, Kufuor spoke about it. Successive presidents spoke about it. And I don't know what happens when the name Akufo-Addo comes in the league. Just 2023. Tomorrow we were here when President Akufo-Addo gathered over 230 people across the length and breadth of the continent to speak about reparation. And I don't fault him. I don't fault him at all, because it is the direction of the one who leads our foreign policy discussion. We will commend you if you've done well, but it is proper that you put on to the contribution or make the contribution of past leaders also known. What will it take from you when the program didn't even happen outside the country? It happened in Kempiski here. And you cannot mention Akufo-Addo's name. Because of what? Because of what?
Away from that, let's do some social stories this afternoon. As the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Amakofi Boa, has stated that the future of mining in Ghana lies in the northern part of the country, describing it as a major opportunity for development in the area. He made the statement during a tour of mining sites in the Upper East region.
The northern part of Ghana has seen increasing discoveries of mineral deposits across several locations, positioning the area as a key hub for future mining activities. In the Upper East region, about 10 out of the 15 districts have identified gold deposits, highlighting the region's significant mineral potential. During his visit to mining companies operating in the Upper East region, the minister noted that current trends clearly indicate that mining activities in Ghana are gradually shifting towards the northern sector.
We're excited about what is happening in this region. It is very clear that the future of mining is in this northern part of Ghana, and we believe that we must turn this opportunity to transform these regions, and that's the discussions we had. And so you realize that apart from the need to ensure that the issues of safety and health are adhered to, that regulations are adhered to, that the operational standards meet what is required by law.
As part of his tour, the minister paid a courtesy call on the paramount chief of the Tongo traditional area. During the engagement, the chief raised concerns regarding the implementation of social responsibility agreement between the traditional authority and the two mining companies operating within the area.
The traditional council is in talks with the large-scale mining companies in our district regarding the signing of a social responsibility agreement, which we believe will be signed in due course. Social responsibility agreement has already been discussed, and we are at the signing stage with Cardinal Nandini Mining Company.
The General Secretary for the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, Dr. Solomon Jijonuya-Kwashi, has called for a robust regulatory regime governing the conduct of paternity and other DNA testings to ensure reliable results required in properly dealing with paternity fraud cases in the country.
The research report, which mainly focused on paternity testing, examines patterns in testing behavior, outcomes observed processed through a nationwide DNA laboratory network. The research, which relied on a self-selected testing population rather than a wider population, revealed very staggering outcomes, such as 4 out of every 10 paternity cases in 2025 showed that men who tested were not biological fathers of their children. It also identified a clear behavioral pattern in testing where more young men between the ages of 30 to 49 were most likely to seek testing early in a child's life. Speaking at the report's dissemination, General Secretary for the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, Dr. Solomon Jijonu Yaokwashi, urged all stakeholders to uphold higher standards for reliable outcomes.
When we are using DNA for medical activities, you have to ensure that the facility that is providing this service is regulated, the personnel are regulated, and all other activities around the testing is regulated. This is to assure patient safety and also the reliability of the results that comes out of this.
Medical Director for Blueprint DNA, Dr. Abe Kugansa, recommended for early DNA testing and awareness.
7% of the tests were done for personal confirmation purposes, which means it was not being requested by the courts or by any embassy. And that reflects that a large proportion of the population have questions. For main recommendation was to seek early testing and early verification to reduce the period of uncertainty and doubts. And then we also recommending an expansion of our services and improved awareness in regions outside of Accra and the Ashanti region. So we'll be doing a lot more advocacy and education campaigns.
Executive lead at the Age Healthcare Consult, partners of the research, Dr. Emmanuel Jima Amankwa, says the report will largely inform policy decision.
This is going to be a big eye-opener and to start the conversation going. Now that people know that such a service is available, now that they know that there's data out there, we have to build on the data. It's also going to help influence policy in the country in the near coming future. And you never know, maybe healthcare at a point, they may want to make it an integral part of healthcare. And
the data set analyzed in the report reflects individuals engaged in paternity testing due to existing uncertainty over biological relations with their children.
Away from that, we are now turning attention to health. Deputy Minister for Health, Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa, has called for collective efforts in dealing with the elimination of tuberculosis in the country as she reiterated government's strong national commitment in response to eradicating TB through increased funding for TB control initiatives. She made the call during a national commemoration of World TB Day in Accra.
Ghana continues to battle a high burden with estimation of 44,000 new cases recorded annually, with a significant number of cases remain undetected due to limited resources for effective diagnosis, a situation which has made the disease a public concern. One of the key national tuberculosis plan for 2026 is to focus on improving pediatric TB diagnosis. The commemoration of the National TB Day, organized by the Ministry of Health with the support of Ghana Health Service, witnessed government officials, health experts, health NGOs interested in eradicating TB. Speaking at the event, Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa, says government has made huge investments in detecting and curing TB.
As part of the efforts to strengthen TB detection and diagnosis, government has invested in the procurement of 10 new AI-enabled digital X-ray systems, 15 new Gen Expert machines, together with the accessories to complement the existing diagnostic infrastructure across the country. Contracts have been awarded for the supply of Gen Expert cartridges and TB lab test kits, all of which are expected to be delivered soon. This investment, valued at approximately 30 million Ghana cedis, is nearly 10 times what has been previously done.
Director for the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Samuel Kaba Akoria, says his outfit will continue to heighten the awareness and prevention of TB.
Today, we join the global community to raise awareness about tuberculosis, reaffirm our collective commitment to ending this disease, and acknowledge the effort of our dedicated health workers, our partners, and communities who continue to support Ghana's fight against TB.
Ghana's country director for World Health Organization, Dr. Fiona Braka, has called for more domestic investment in the country's health sector.
Leaders committed to reaching 90% of people affected by TB with prevention and care services. They committed to reducing TB deaths by 90% and eliminating catastrophic costs for affected households by 2027. Delivering on these commitments requires sustained political will, increased domestic financing, and a whole of government action.
The Deputy Health Minister handed over some newly procured TB diagnostic machines to the Ghana Health Service. Theme for this year's TB Day is Yes, We Can End TB.
Now, the ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee, Kweku Aprechum Sapon, has accused President John Dramani Mahama and his brother of orchestrating the state capture in Ghana's mining sector. Addressing the parliamentary press corps, he raised concerns over the president's alleged use of his brother's private jet, questioning the cost implications and transparency, as the minority maintains it is unaware of the amount of public funds involved. Now, the West African Youth Summit on Peace Building and Security has brought together 60 young peace advocates from across West Africa who have convened in Accra for a 3-day summit focused on strengthening youth participation in decisions on peace and security as concerns grow over rising instability in the region.
The summit, which opened on Tuesday under the theme, Leaders of Today, Not Tomorrow, is calling for greater youth inclusion in national and regional security decision-making, bringing together participants from across the SAM region, peace organizations, and marginalized communities to share ideas and develop practical solutions for regional stability. Speaking to the media, Nansata Salia Yakubu of Reconciliation Resources highlighted the vital role young people already play in conflict prevention and peace building.
This is the first of its kind. You normally wouldn't find a youth-led, youth-run, issues around the continent. If you find anybody above the youth limit here today, the person is facilitating young people's processes. But the youth voices here, you have heard, we have been joined by all the African Union Youth Council presidents from Nigeria, from Togo, from Benin, from Burkina Faso, from Cote d'Ivoire, and also from Ghana. This program is expected to amplify youth voices, strengthen cross-border collaboration, and build youth networks and express solidarity for the work that they do, and also feed into the African Union consultative process for reforming issues around youth's work on peace and security. They started this process from June 2025 and they are ending June 2026. So it's going to culminate in a communique on Friday, which is going to be shared with the African Union Youth Ambassador for Peace and the African Union Peace and Security Department.
Meanwhile, the board chair of the National Youth Authority, Julian Kobner, stressed that unemployment remains a key security concern that must be urgently addressed.
When people don't have jobs and they don't have good incomes, and the incomes provide them the means to able to take care of themselves, their families, and their needs. And you don't have that, right? They get depressed, and when they get depressed, right, they find alternatives. That's how people are recruited into extreme violence. In fact, that's why all over the world the recruiters are exploiting to be able to recruit people into terrorism. So I mean, for a country like Ghana and for the sub-region, everybody, the sub-region, we have to be able to drive down the numbers of unemployment. We must, as a matter of public policy, a matter of private sector support, be able to provide a lot of jobs out there.
So we receive our next presentation from Simon Diouf, who is the AU Ambassador for Peace for West Africa. Of course.
That'll be all for the news updates here on Good Afternoon Ghana. Thank you very much for making time. My name is Helena Nyeweja. But there's more after this break on Good Afternoon Ghana.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you don't look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me. Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Watching DSTV means getting the TV you love, but staying connected means getting something extra. Stunning! Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim. I love it. Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Kwewu Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Kwewu Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? One lie, tell her today we'll give you my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba un 17 and dede baby. Scan on ASA. 500 cedis per. Ah.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with One Chat.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select one-shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cities.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go fit buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
It's Bemi. I'm boom. Wanna you be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
It's going to be a celebration with Kivo this year at Square. Step into the Kivo village at Obomin Market and enjoy correct chicken soup cooked with Kivo 100% natural spices, and refresh yourself with Kivo Gary Soakings mix any time of the day. Special appearance at the Kivo village is the Metro TV Jollof Festival. Live cooking, food tasting, and non-stop entertainment. Remember to join us daily for the true taste of Ghana, made with Kivo 100% natural spices and your favorite, the Kivo Gary Soakings mix at the Kivo village at the Obomin Market all day, all night. Kivo, taste of Ghana. From the 2nd to the 6th of April, don't miss it. Kivo village, taste the culture, live the moment.
This International Women's Day, Metro TV, Original TV and Original FM spark a conversation that shapes our future. In a world of moral uncertainty, women are demanding ethical clarity, principled leadership, and real change. As we celebrate Ghana Month, we honor our rich culture, values of integrity, respect, resilience, and community. Ghanaian women have always been at the heart of this legacy, shaping families, institutions, and the nation itself. Queens presents Give to Gain, Moral Confusion Within Societies, Women, Values, and the Struggle for Ethical Clarity. Join leaders, scholars, policymakers, and students for this powerful dialogue. Supported by Metro Care and the Ministry of Gender, championing gender equity and social responsibility. On 28th March 2026 at 10 a.m., Metro TV Studio 6, Northridge. Register now for the Queen's International Women's Day Conference 2026. Call 0244 598 747 for sponsorship or registration.
Hello there and welcome. This is Good Afternoon Ghana here on Metro Television. Today's Thursday, the 26th of March, 2026. And we're on till 2 p.m. We're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277 on Multi TV. We're live on there and also on 94.1 FM on radio. My name is Desmond Okreku Danso. So coming up on the show today, we will be talking about the Queen's Conference. It's a program that is powered by the Ignite Media Group. So we will get into that conversation. And then later, we have a conversation with the CEO of the Venture Capital Trust Fund, who will be joining us also to talk about the fund. So we get to know what's been happening with the fund. For now, in studio, we're going to begin with the Queen's Conference. And joining me in here is a woman that today I've got to know her English name. So let me mention her English name. Adriana Akosua Ejay is IMG's CSR manager and the project coordinator for the Queen's Conference. Adriana, good afternoon, welcome. Why did you keep this from me? I didn't know the Adriana one. You don't use it. Okay, special days. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Also in studio is Stanislav Holali Dugbe, CEO of Standy X Ventures. That's a production, and they supply detergents. Also, they're part of this year's program as partners, sponsors, helping us. Welcome to the program, madam.
Thank you.
Right. So let me begin with you. Let's talk about the Queen's Conference. What really is it? What are we trying to achieve with this program? Okay, you'd have to press the knob. Yes. So now you can go ahead. The platform is all yours.
Okay, thank you. So the Queen's Conference is one of our corporate social responsibility initiatives in the area of education and social impact. And we are doing this by way of killing two birds with one stone.
Right.
International Women's, we just celebrated International Women's Day, and we are in Ghana month, the Heritage Month. So right. We are combining the two. And this year's theme for International Women's Day is Give to Gain. What are we giving to gain? That is why we have this mentorship project. And we have also couched our own topic from the Give to Gain, and that is moral confusion. Moral confusion is going to be our third leadership conversation that we'll be having on Saturday.
Okay.
And this is an Ignite Media initiative that we'll be having on Saturday.
Right. So this is a program by, of course, when we talk about Ignite Media, we're talking about Metro TV, Original FM, and also Metro Digital, and of course, MetroTVOnline.com all together for this. So this is, as you say, is our celebration of the International Women's Day, and
our legacy
and doubling
month.
that with the Ghana month,
yes.
and all of that, right?
So we are using this to crown the Ghana month.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe going forward, you ask why the topic, and I will explain to you.
So the name, the Queen's Conference, so someone would be watching and say, oh, so it's for only women? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Okay, even though it's tagged Queen's Conference, it's not solely gender biased. The kings can also come, because without them, the queens cannot be complete. Okay. So we are inviting the kings also. So basically on the day of the event, every woman that comes there is a queen. Every male that comes there is a king. So we want to portray our rich culture, and we want to portray our values. And that even brings me to the topic that we have called the moral confusion. It looks like in our dispensation, we have a lot of information. The youth see a lot, they know a lot, but they lack the wisdom to sieve the information they get to get the right things to develop themselves. But who is there to help them to get that sieving? Who is there to mentor them? Who is there to show them the way? And in talking about that, who even determines the right and the wrong? In the olden days, we had the community survey, the community setting that was helping us with mentorship. I mean, you live in a compound house or a family house. Everybody's parent is everybody's parent. I mean, we were getting a lot of mentorship, but now, currently, the settings have changed. And it becomes a bit difficult for our youth to know what is right and what is wrong. And it confuses them. Sometimes they get attracted to what is gaining attraction on social media, and they think that is the right thing. But is that the right thing? But if it is not the right thing, who is helping them to know the right things to do? And how did we even get there? When did we get there? So, in that case, is it that the youth are not opening themselves to mentorship, or the older people are too busy too busy looking for money, minding their own business, and they don't have time for the
young people to mentor them. Okay.
And it's giving them a lot of confusion. Okay. So this project actually seek to help give solution to all that problems. That is why we are.
That's a very good one to hear. And of course, we're doing this with our partners, and one of them is, as I mentioned, Stanislav Olalidobe is here. And I see you beaming with smiles as Akusia was talking about all of these things that this program, the Queen's Conference, seeks to talk about. In the first place, talk to us about how you heard about the Queen's Conference and why you have even decided to be a part of it.
Okay, so I had a call from one of the workers here. We met at a fair, and so he took my contact, and then he contacted me. And the reason I decided to be a partner to this program is, as a woman in business, I believe in giving back. And so, personally, I'm very proud to be a sponsor of this because the whole program aligns with my values. Okay. Yes. I am into mentoring women, and so this is obviously my space. And so I decided to join, and I know it's going to make a huge impact on the society.
Right. And as this is something you're doing already, and on Saturday we will open it up to a lot more people. Share with us some of the things that you'll be sharing with the women. As you say, you've been doing this. Okay. You work with young girls, young ladies, and you see what society has become now. Yeah. What are some of the things that you've been sharing with them that on Saturday when they come, they'll hear more of that?
Okay, so we have some packages to give out to them, and then also encourage them. We also give them a platform where, in case they need any form of mentorship or they need to learn a skill, the opportunity will be there. They wouldn't pay anything for the sake of this very event. Yeah.
Okay, okay. But in your work with the young women, as she was saying, it is said that in this era, in quotes, the Gen Zs have their own mindset, their own thoughts about how things should be done. In dealing with a young woman like that, what are some of the things that you see?
I just hope they don't come for me. What I've noticed.
Just a little bit.
What I've noticed is they really don't want to go into the hard work, you know. Okay. They want everything on a silver platter. So it becomes quite difficult when you want to mentor some of them because they are looking for a quick way of making money.
Right.
You understand? Some of us don't know how to make quick money than to go through the right channels to make the money. So when they are frustrated, they just leave. Okay. We'll find a way of talking to them to understand that it is always the best to go to the right channel to make it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come on Saturday, you're going to be hearing all of this. So are we paying? It's absolutely free.
It's free.
Okay.
And we also have goodies that we will be sharing, we will be giving.
Okay, so you are coming for the program, you're not paying, but you will leave with something. Okay, yes. that should be amazing. I've seen the flyer also, a number of people on there. Share with us some of the people who will be speaking on the day.
Okay, so we have 2 Queen mothers, we have a lawyer, we have a representative from the gender ministry, we have a doctor, and definitely we will have some of our partners also coming on board to help the celebration. So it will be segmented. We will have the official ceremony, we will have the welcome ceremony, we will have a symposium, and we will also, within the program, we will have a surprise that I will keep for the day.
You're keeping the surprise from us, eh? Okay, well, that's why it should be a surprise.
Yes. That will give the suspense for people to come. We want everybody is invited, and it's free.
Right. So you see on the screen the speakers on the day: Nana Awudu Akite, the first Queen Mother Kogbo clan of the Adan traditional area; Nana Adiki Manyeyo Adi, the first Queen Mother of the Royal Edibiawe clan of the Adan traditional area; also Nana Lomoki Lomo, the first traditional leader, community development practitioner and an advocate for the youth. And there's a gentleman on there, actually. Dr. Frederick Buachi-Yadom is a pharmacist. He'll also be speaking. Dr. Vanessa Atikwi is a medical doctor, a brand influencer, founder of First Aid on Wheels, and Sufiani Masiata, NUC's Secretary for Women Development, would also be there at the program. So make sure that you're coming to be part of this very, very important conversation. Where is it happening?
Okay, it's happening right here at Metro TV Studio 6.
Okay.
Dr. Isaac Street.
Okay. So right here in our building?
Right here in our building.
Okay.
If you can't find your way, I'll give out a number if you allow me.
Right, definitely you can share.
So you can call 0244 598 747.
Okay.
If you miss your way, just call. We will come and pick you.
Okay. So let me just attempt to give you show you how you can get to Metro TV at Northridge in Accra. On all the ride-hailing apps, Metro TV, you see that. If you see Laboni, don't go to Laboni. Please, let me reiterate again. Do not go to Laboni. We are located at Northridge, close to Alisa Hotel, or plans 223. You can find us here. So please, Northridge, that is our location, close to Alisa Hotel and plans 223 Jazz Bar. You can find us. So come here, our Studio 6. Amazing place. Come, let's have a good time. Let's talk women. The gentleman like Mr. Evans Okain can come with his wife. You need to be here to be part of this program. Very, very important. As we wrap up on this, Madam Stanislav, final word you want to say to your people, to all women out there, young ladies out there, why they should be at this program?
Okay, so I would like to say congratulations to every woman in business.
Right. It's difficult, eh?
Yeah. Yes, it is, but, we keep going. Right. This is a good platform to be, and so I will encourage every woman to make their way to the studios of the Metro TV come Saturday to be impacted.
Yeah. So please, all of you, make sure that you come around. This is the third edition? Second edition. I remember last year. Yes. Last year was at Bayview. Yes, and this year we're having it right here in our premises at Studio 6. So please, let's take a look at the promo video, and then when we come back, we wrap up with the conversation. All right, so there you had it, the details of the program. So again, it's happening this Saturday. Today is 26th, tomorrow 27th, 28th. That's in 2 days' time. Please, it is happening here at our Studio 6 Metro TV Northridge in Accra. And of course, it is free, absolutely free. So just come and be part of this amazing event. And you can call 0244 598747 0244 598747 for further details on this. Akusuya, wrapping up on this, final words. Who are we expecting to be here? Have you invited some people? Share with us.
Yes, we have invited a lot of people. I forgot one person, the NUC's president. She is going to represent the youth in this project. And on that day, I am telling the youth that they should come in their numbers because they are going to get moral clarity. Whatever is confusing them, we have renowned people that are coming to give them mentorship, that are coming to help them with their confusion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Akusuya, for coming. And on Saturday, the confusion will vanish. Yes. So that is why I want my friend Evans Okain to be here with his wife so that he will learn a lot of things. Yeah. Right. So many thanks for coming. Wish you the very best. Stanislav Holali Dogbe. When I saw the name, I got confused because I know Stanislav Dogbe. Yeah. And then I said, okay, I was telling the producer, I'm sure this is the right name. But anyway, thank you very much for coming. We're grateful that you have joined us for this event on Saturday. And Adriana, Akusuya AJ, IMG's CSR manager and the project coordinator for the Queen's Conference. So yesterday we brought you the Ghana Exim Bank. There's the conference that is happening and it continues today. So we're going to take that. When we come back, we'll be speaking to the CEO of the Venture Capital Transfer here on the show.
Of the value. Now, when it comes to agro processing itself, Econfi was funded by Ghana Exim Bank and is doing very well. More and more. What Exim Bank is asking the banks that are presented here to do is that whenever we and provide patient long-term capital to factories, they should be prepared to come in and provide working capital. That is the way that economy. I'll give you a typical example. A Econfi factory was 100%. Now, it needs raw materials to feed the factory. It's getting difficult, it's going through difficult from commercial banks. Exim cannot continue providing both capital, which is capex, and working capital. We go in and allow private sector to come in and fund. But that is not the case. So we actually provide for the whole value chain.
Great.
Excuse me. Let me,
okay, yes, you have something
let me
to
add to that. So in terms of value addition, even product design have to, be deliberate in ensuring that the customers focus on value addition. So if you look at Nexim, for instance, we have what we call PAVE, that is produce, add value, and export. So if you approach us for a loan, we'll look at what stage of value addition are you at, and then that determines the kind of support we give you. And even in de-risking your transactions, if you're doing, we give you a cover of up to 25%. And if you're doing semi-processed, cover to 50%. And if you're doing manufactured exports, we take it up to 80%. So that is deliberate to make sure that you are engaging has a lot of value addition so that you keep in the value in country as much as possible. Just think I should add.
Mark, everybody's talking about exporting, but the other side of the coin is that, and we say it every time, that every time you export, every time you import, it means that you are funding elsewhere. And at Exim, one of the objectives of the 5-year strategic plan is to create jobs. Now,
I think it's two ways. One may be deliberate, because our policies over the years are to protect our young industries, to make sure that they grow and also employ more people. The other bit has to do with, if you don't have the product, you don't have any option than to import that product. So what is it that we are doing as a country? It's for us to add value to the raw materials that you have. In fact, ordinary cassava, I don't think anybody from Nigeria will import cassava from us. Because they have gari, we have gari. They use it for fufu, But if you make it to the level of an intermediate product, a raw material, it becomes a base for industries. So when they need that, they will definitely import it from you. So value addition is key, because that is where people will import from. So aside of deliberating, we have to also be deliberate in adding values to all the things that we produce. In fact, in 2025, the exports we made were in key sectors, and we got actually countries also importing from us. Agro-processing, very key. Cocoa-related products, cashew nuts, and fruit juice were exported to our West African neighbors. And pharmaceutical industry is also very key. In fact, most of the countries around us export generic pharmaceutical products from us. Even though they would have wanted to protect their market, since they will need the medicine.
Okay, so welcome back. So that's the Ghana Exim Bank conference has been happening, and my colleagues Nana Kwesi Kwetia and also Rahel Kwanto are there following up, and we'll bring us more of that subsequently. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I mentioned that we have the CEO of the Venture Capital Trust Fund joining us in studio. We have some questions to understand how the fund is currently and what should we be expecting from the CEOs. So stay with us. We're taking a break. We'll be back shortly. This is Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy, specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
This International Women's Day, Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM spark a conversation that shapes our future. In a world of moral uncertainty, women are demanding ethical clarity, principled leadership, and real change. As we celebrate Ghana Month, we honor our rich culture, values of integrity, respect, resilience, and community. Ghanaian women have always been at the heart of this legacy, shaping families, institutions, and the nation itself. Queens presents Give to Gain, Moral Confusion Within Societies, Women, Values, and the Struggle for Ethical Clarity. Join leaders, scholars, policymakers, and students for this powerful dialogue. Supported by Metro Care and the Ministry of Gender, championing gender equity and social responsibility. On 28th March 2026 at 10 a.m., Metro TV Studio 6, Northridge. Register now for the Queen's International Women's Day Conference 2026. Call 0244-598-747 for sponsorship or registration.
Bunty, why you there? What lie tell her today go give me my money.
Oh my guy, what's up? Oba un say me din na dede baby. Scan on ASA 500 cedis per.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with one chat.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select one-shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cities.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby, boom! Wanna you need too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Right, welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro TV. My name is Desmond Okreku Dance. We're live on Facebook, Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277, 94.1 on the radio. And of course, you can catch all the latest news updates on our website, www.metrotvonline.com. Now, this afternoon, my guest is he's a learned man. He's a lawyer. He's an economic policy expert with a lot of experience, and now he is the Chief Executive Officer of the Venture Capital Trust Fund. And he joins us in studio to have we're having a conversation about the fund, about what's been happening, and all the amazing things that he is doing there. Michael Abbey is my guest this afternoon. Hello, lawyer.
My brother.
Welcome to the program. How are you doing?
Very fine. The week has been one of a busy one. Yesterday we had the Ghana Impact Summit, which is one of the cherished platforms that we have in the private equity venture capital ecosystem in Ghana. Because for us, investment is not only about financial returns, but also about impact.
Okay.
And so impact relative to the environment, impact relative to social considerations, governance considerations, and what have you. So yesterday, no, 2 days ago rather, has been very, very, busy. I spoke at the conference and, of course, a couple of meetings here and there. But of course, you summoned me here, so I'm here.
We've got to do this. But when I read portfolios of my guests, especially people who are academic people who've gone through school, is that how you've always been? You know, been someone who's loved school, who's loved what you're doing now, becoming a lawyer, a policy expert, having knowledge in a lot of other spaces. Is that what you've always been?
Yes, and that motivation actually evolved when I believe, I think in my days at class 6, where my class 6 teacher, he's still alive, he visited me at my office, I think a couple of weeks ago, mentioned to us in class that life, in essence, is an acronym and means that learning is forever. So for us, everything we do is a learning experience, both formal and, of course, informal. Experiential learning, anything about our living is for us to learn and understand society, understand how we engage. And so wherever the opportunity comes for one to, of course, embark on formal education, we take the opportunity to do so. We don't cease learning at all.
Right. And before even getting into this role also, you were with FES Ghana.
Yeah.
I've skipped mentioning the full name.
Friedrich Ebert Stiftung.
Friedrich.
Yeah.
Ebert Stiftung.
Yes, FES. So Stiftung is the German word for foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Then a lot of people have been mentioning it wrongly.
Of course. So it's a political foundation largely. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a social democratic political
And your time there as a policy person, you managed a lot of international funding for diverse programs and all of that.
Yeah.
Speak to us about your role there and how that has helped you fit into this new role as the CEO for the fund.
Great. So at the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, I joined FES Ghana, I believe, in 2013. And so I've been there for over a decade before this appointment came through last year, courtesy His Excellency, the President of the Republic. At FES, I handled our political cooperation working line, and so it's more about political party cooperation, governance, dealing with civil society, youth groups, women groups. So, for instance, we had 2 flagship training programs at FES called a Young Leaders Program, which program seeks to train young people for Ghana's politics and democracy generally. And I handled that training program, both for the Women in Politics training program as well, and of course a few other initiatives. And it's been a learning experience because it's been a learning experience for me, because we got the opportunity again to engage the political parties in Ghana in the system to understand how we can together collectively help build our multi-party system, our multi-party democratic system in Ghana.
Right. And so if you just tune in, we're live on Facebook. As I mentioned, you can join us on the Metro TV Ghana, also on DSTV channel 277 and 94.1 FM. And talking about political parties and all of that, and working across the board, he was also part of the manifesto committee for the NDC. And just to talk about politics, and then given the role as a CEO. So from the policy bit, as a policy person, what do you look out for? When does the bit of politics come in? And then I'll get into the role of the CEO as you are.
Great. And this reminds me of my former supervisor at the Political Science Department of University of Ghana, Professor Esuban, who would always want to differentiate between what he called political science and political sense. So, of course, according to his observation, what the literature says, which is political science, which is what we are expected to, of course, govern society by, appears to always come in contrast with sometimes what we see on the ground, which is what makes sense politically, which is termed political sense. And so, yes, you may be in the policy space, and sometimes what I've realized is that there is always the lack of the experiential learning, the lived experience of what really our politics is. So it's a good thing to understand policy, the policy formulation processes. My work with Friedrich Ebert Stiftung taught me this as to how we engage the governance system. You think broadly about national developmental considerations, but again, there are huge forces, particularly within the political space, that come in contrast with what is expected to be the norm. And so as a policy person, coming into the political space, there is always that battle in drawing that thin line, which, of course, one ought to navigate in order to ensure that the national interest is always duly served.
Okay. So from people have said that policy people, they at the back of it, at the rear, I've interviewed the Deputy Director General for SEC, Mensa Thompson.
Yeah.
And
he's a good friend.
Yes, from ASEPA, looking at things from the back, from the rear, how they are, and then you get into the role as a CEO. When the appointment was made and you stepped in, what was that motive that came to you with the experience that you have had to be able to run this particular office? And again, for this conversation, we're talking about the Venture Capital Trust Fund. We will get into the conversation proper as we are, but we just wanted to know the beginnings of lawyer Michael Abbey, and who is the CEO for the fund, and then we can talk, because I mean, from my readings I've seen that the fund started in 2004.
Precisely.
There's been a number of CEOs who've come in with different styles of leadership and what they've been able to do. So from your point as a policy person into the role of a CEO for the fund, how did you approach that?
Well, so there is one fundamental theme, understanding, objective, that cuts across, be it in the policy world or in the world of politics. And that fundamental understanding is the desire to serve your nation.
Okay.
So when you engage policy experts, all they do is to ensure that we see our societies progress.
Okay.
Same way when you engage politicians or when you are in the world of politics, actively doing politics, the fundamental goal is to see to the progress of society.
Okay.
Perhaps the lenses within which we look at how we go about this is what may differ. But in essence, the ultimate goal is the progress of society. So when the appointment came, I saw it as an opportunity to contribute my quota to Ghana's national development. And so, of course, Venture Capital Trust Fund, Ghana's venture capital private equity ecosystem, an ecosystem that is nascent, evolving, growing, an ecosystem that holds huge promise for Ghana's SME space, SME industry, an ecosystem that actually understands the life cycle of an SME. Because venture capital, private equity, is fundamentally about the provision of what we call patient capital.
Okay.
And patient capital, as the word even connotes, capital that is patient, capital that understands the rigidities, understands the complexities, understands the struggles of a promoter, of a founder, of a business person, a businessman or woman who is now building a business from scratch, or may have started, tried, and still struggling to succeed. So the type of capital required by such businesses is a type that would understand them and say, hey guy, I know you're struggling, I know you don't have it all, I know you may not have even collateral to access capital for loans, but I think we can work together, we can partner for us to evolve, for you to grow. And I find this space, the venture capital, private equity space of Ghana ecosystem, as actually the game changer.
Okay, right. We've been talking about small and medium-scale businesses. We've been talking about youth getting into entrepreneurship and all of these things. And funding is a very big part of it that a lot of people do talk about. There are questions always that are asked about, do you need money to begin your entrepreneurship journey or just find a way to start? Many young people do complain about the fact that they do not find the capital to begin their businesses. As you engage young people who have begun their small businesses, all of those things who come to you, what do you look out for before you are able to, assist? And then for the businesses also, for the young people that you interact with, do they come across as people who know what they're doing about not just starting a business, but they know exactly what they're doing? And that is one of the things that comes up a lot with the youth about starting your own business and how difficult it is to find money. Is that what venture capital has been doing over the years? And when you came in, what have you been able to establish with respect to that link between people starting their businesses and funding?
So personally, I think, by the way, I don't know whether I'm still a farmer, because I used to run a poultry farm. I was doing about 10,000 layers.
Okay.
Around the Dodowa enclave.
So you have started the Akoko Kitikiti already?
The Akoko
I'm just saying.
And so I've come face to face, I've faced the reality of what our young men and women seeking to build enterprises, grow their businesses, go through. And I have come to one conclusion, that passion is what it takes, really. I mean, when you look at the Venture Capital Trust Fund Act, the Act gives us two mandates as a trust fund to see to its implementation. One is to provide financial resources for SMEs. But of course, I'll come to how we do this, the mechanics of it.
Yes.
The second, which is more important for this particular conversation and the question you asked, is we building the ecosystem. And building the ecosystem includes ensuring that you have businesses, you have SMEs, you have entrepreneurs, you have innovators who are investment ready.
Okay.
So it does not matter where you may have some challenges, let's say in your operational, life as a business, as a promoter, we understand that you may necessarily go through struggles. So it may not necessarily be, because we've supported, for instance, businesses right from ideation. They only met our funds, so we invest in funds. So this is our model. We've been established to invest in funds, and then the funds in turn invest in businesses. So we don't do direct investment.
Okay.
So, and the funds we invest in are funds that have been licensed by SEC, Mercer Thompson's organization. So SEC will take you through the the rigorous application processes, because you're coming in to manage funds. And when you're to manage funds, there is huge expectation on you, because the funds coming in may be coming from government, the taxpayers' money may be coming from other institutional investors, maybe pension funds. And so you should be able to satisfy to SEC that you have what it takes, you have the team that is required and other requirements to manage a fund. So they go through all these processes before, of course, they come or they approach us that, okay, venture capital, we intend establishing or creating a fund, let's say a 50 million Ghana cedis fund or 100 million Ghana cedis fund, and which fund we intend supporting businesses in these specific sectors.
Okay.
Some may be across sectors. And so we are looking at, for instance, maybe a ticket size of investing, say, around 500,000, a million cedis or more in a particular, investee or portfolio company or SME. And I would want to emphasize on this note that we've seen the situation where we talk about job creation in Ghana.
Okay.
And where many think or assume that when you throw a little, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, it helps. But the major question is whether by doing so, we are building sustainable businesses. Because when a business or an SME is not sustainable, what it means is that it blows up or it dies out in the long run. And what that means is that joblessness becomes the consequence or the outcome.
Right.
And so the objective must always be, or to be on the lookout of ensuring that all the indicators that ought to be marked to ensure you are helping build a sustainable business is one that must occupy funding agencies.
Okay.
Because, and so for the funds that we work with, this is one of the major factors we don't, negotiate on, because we are seeking to create sustainable, and I'm sure we'll get there. A number of these businesses that we have supported are investee companies that are doing well, are still in operation, unlike other businesses you throw. And it's also because the capital that is injected into these businesses may not necessarily help them to even break even, not to even talk about grow and scale. And so the type of funding that we give, that we engage businesses with, is very, very crucial. It is that which would determine whether they are going to break even, grow, scale, and still continue to, employ more people, create jobs, seek to contribute their quota to addressing Ghana's unemployment situation.
Okay.
Precisely.
Okay. So just for the benefit of our viewers, as he's mentioned, this is how it works. As I mentioned, the fund is available, and then it invests in companies, and then on your website, you've stated the number of them that you invest in. Jaro, all of them, Impact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have how it works. So I want us to move to how it works. How do businesses, or you do the fund, you invest in the fund, and then as it is, how then does the businesses, or do the businesses, the SMEs, get the monies that they can use for the building of their companies? What do you look out for?
Great. So we invest in the funds.
Okay.
And the funds then invest in the businesses.
The businesses.
Now, so the type of instrument we give is most often equity or quasi-equity.
Okay.
So sometimes debt and equity. And so we invest in the funds, and this is what happens, and this is what our model has proven. So for every 1 Ghana cedi that the state of Ghana has invested in venture capital trust fund, we have been able to attract additional 5.6 Ghana cedis, and from the private sector.
Okay.
So private capital. So we have, let's say, 10 million cedis from the government of Ghana, maybe through budgetary allocation, whatsoever, which other means. And then we invest 1 million cedis into a fund that has been established, registered under SEC, and managed by a licensed fund manager. Now, that fund comes to us that they've established, or they are seeking to create, let's say, 100 million Ghana cedis fund. Of course, we are not coming in with all the 100 million Ghana cedis. We come in with what we think we can contribute to the fund. But most often, and which has always been the case, we come in as anchor investors. We are the first to always put in money or commit to putting in money. Okay. And then when we do so, that opens the floodgate for the fund manager to engage other institutional investors, pension funds, and others to also come on board. So the model has proven that for every 1 cedi that we put in, the funds are able to attract 5 more times of that capital from the private sector, which now means that you have a huge pool for strategic investment in SMEs that we seek to make them sustainable businesses in Ghana.
Okay. Since you came in, how much has government given you?
Well, so, of course, I came in last year. We are still having conversations with the Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
We have ongoing investment. In 2022, 2023, the World Bank, under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, through the Ministry of Finance, supported the Venture Capital Trust Fund. And so we were one of the implementing agencies under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project. And we have been investing under that project till I joined the Venture Capital Trust Fund last year. And so as we speak, we are on a fund, because one of course, our objectives, our mandate is equally to raise funds.
Right.
And so we are on a fundraising mission now, engaging investors, engaging, even we've had conversations with the Ministry of Finance. It looks positive.
Okay.
Just, I think, early this week and last week, we had some meetings with the World Bank as well on how, of course, Venture Capital Trust Fund going forward will be capitalized. So it's an ongoing conversation to raise funds to, of course, support our operations.
And so in the doing of that, can you share with us how much has been given out in terms of the investment, and then get into the SMEs, how much investment has gone in?
So we have invested in, since the 2-decade life of the fund, the trust fund, we have invested in 14 funds. Okay. So 14 different funds.
Okay. Since 2004?
Since 2004. And the 14 different funds have together established or supported almost 90 sustainable businesses. One of them is just even close by at airport, Villa Monticello, the hotel close to the National Service Secretariat. Okay. It's one of our investee companies. AUCC, now AECB, the Africa University College of I think Communications and Business, yes, yeah. Is also one of our investee companies. Everpure, the water producing company, is also one of our investee companies. Vista Oil is quite a number of them. Okay. Others also in the agriculture, agribusiness value chain. So, for instance, True Moringa, 3 weeks ago, we visited True Moringa, located at New Longoro, on an executive committee portfolio performance review mission. And I was amazed with what I saw, what the investment is doing on the ground. And you could see the smiles on the faces of the women we saw on the farms of True Moringa. And what True Moringa does is very simple. So the moringa plant, it has huge nutritional value and also several derivatives. And what they do is to plant the moringa tree. I think they've done over 2 million trees already, planted over 2 million trees on a 500-acre farmland. And they've recruited over 500 women on the farmland. And what they do is they process the moringa, plant, after they harvest the leaves. So they dry it, it goes through a processing. And we came in at a point of where they needed to expand and have a processing unit facility. And one of the challenges for which they came to us or to one of our funds for support is they used to have their processing company in Accra here, where their farm is located in the north. And so the transportation of what they harvest, the leaves, the moringa leaves, from the north down to Nsawam, actually, by the time it gets here, about the losses over 50%, actually. And so the strategic decision was, okay, why don't you locate the processing facility close to the farm? So this was where they approached one of our funds that would want to expand. And around 750,000 USD was pumped into that by our fund, the fund we've invested in, which today, we visited 3 weeks ago, as I mentioned. They are doing very fantastic. They are unable to actually meet demand, and they largely export what they produce into the US and into the EU. And so the companies have proven that indeed the impact that we would want to see as investors in these funds clearly is the reality we see every day we visit them. Right. The jobs they are creating. In fact, one of our portfolio companies, again, DDP is an advertising company.
Right.
The fund that actually invested in DDP, the amount we invested in that fund was just around 25 million cedis or so into that fund, the fund that in turn invested in DDP. And DDP, just in one operational year, the amount they paid to government by way of taxes was in excess of 40 million cedis, almost double the amount we invested in the fund. And these are the impact stories that when we see clearly, we get to know that our model has been proven and tested, it is catalytic, and it is sustainable.
How do you balance the risk in this situation, risk with development impact, and selecting the funds so that you know that this that you're investing in is going to yield that eventually it will get to the SMEs? How do you do that risk assessment?
So the Venture Capital Trust Fund has a 9-member board of trustees, and our board is largely representational. So you have representatives from the Ghana Bankers Association, for instance. You have a rep from the Ghana securities industry. You have a rep from the insurance industry.
Okay.
You have a rep from the private sector. You have a rep from the informal economy.
Okay.
And quite a number of them. So it's a representative board.
Okay.
Aside that, we have an independent investment committee. And the investment committee is the committee that takes the investment decisions. And so when our investment department at the trust fund, of course, makes proposal to the investment committee, the independent investment committee.
Okay.
And the independent investment committee now goes through, of course, with rigor, the analysis, the assessment, and these are made of individuals that are already in the sector, huge expertise in the field, highly professional. And so what they do is to ensure that for each CD we intend in investing in this particular fund, there is value for money, we can see returns, we can see impact. Aside that, at the fund level where we invest, the fund equally have their independent investment committees. And so those who manage the fund are different from the investment, the members of the Independent Investment Committee. Okay. And so they take all the investment decisions, and then the fund managers see to its implementation. So there is that layers. We have a number of layers introduced to ensure that there is transparency, to ensure there is accountability, to ensure that there is professionalism in the investment decision making.
So we are making profit.
You mean the venture capital trust fund? So this is venture capital investing is usually for a longer tenor.
Okay.
So unlike, for instance, where businesses go to the banks and the tenor is, let's say, 12 months or for a year, venture capital has been structured such that you get the funds, and because it is patient capital, we want to be patient with you, the promoter, the business person, and seek to evolve with you until you get to the stage where you break even and grow. So usually, the traditional tenor has been 5 to 10 years, sometimes even 10 plus 1, which is 12 years. And so we give you that time to evolve. We grow with you, we fall, we rise until you get to where we can begin seeing the profit. Of course, we've made 15 exits. What that means is that, of course, when we invest in a fund, we seek to exit from the fund because we put in 1 cedi. We are saying, okay, this 1 cedi should get into the fund. It's used to support a business. The business grows, breaks even, begin to make profit. Okay, by the 5th year or 3rd year, we exit from that investment. And so out of the almost 90 companies that we've invested in through our funds, we've exited in about 15 companies thus far, yes. And they all give us good returns. Some give us actually multiple of the amount we invested in those companies. And we have a couple of them also that we are seeking to exit from. So we are engaging other strategic buyers to come, of course, buy our shares in those companies. Yeah.
From what you're stating or sharing with us, it sounds exciting that the VC trust fund is doing very well. But what would be some of the challenges? The challenges that you share with us.
Great. So the first thing has to do with so when you take enabling law, which is at 680.
Okay.
Section 3 or so of the law talks about the sources of funding for the venture capital trust fund. And when the trust fund was established, it was intended and it was put in the law that we get about 25% of the proceeds from the then National Reconstruction Levy. So what it means is that for every year, you get 25% from the National Reconstruction Levy.
Okay.
And that is still in our law. But as I speak with you, 2 years after we got established, the levy got repealed. And there was no successor levy, to replace the National Reconstruction Levy to serve as a sustainable stream of flow for the Venture Capital Trust Fund. So subsequently, we've been, of course, under budgetary support from the government of Ghana until recently the World Bank came in 2022, 2023 under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project. Now, when you look at our investment cycle, as I've explained, so you invest into a fund, it takes between 3, 5, at most even 10 years to exit from this investment. What that means is that when you receive funding for investment and you exhaust the funds have gone into other funds and into businesses and are helping the businesses to grow. In the meantime, you may either have to wait for the returns to begin coming in, or you look for other sources, other fundraising avenues. So you always have what we call dry powder to be able to continue investment. So a major challenge has been the absence of a sustainable, funding stream for the operation. So we've more or less exhausted the funds that came under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project through the World Bank and Ministry of Finance, and the investments are ongoing and they are doing very well. We've done some monitoring recently, a few weeks ago. But what, of course, we need at this stage is some, of course, liquidity coming in. And we are engaging the powers that be. We are engaging critical stakeholders. We are also looking at raising funds, some grants, to also support our ecosystem work. So that would be one of the major challenges we have currently as far as the trust fund is concerned. Secondly, the act of the Venture Capital Trust Fund is, of course, 2 decades old. As you know, the trust fund was established in 2004. And there have been several, interesting development, new ways of new thinking of investment and what have you. And clearly, there's a need for a revision of the Venture Capital Trust Fund Act. And we are also in the process of doing same.
Okay, right. If we just tune in, we're speaking to the CEO of the Venture Capital Trust Fund, sharing with us how the fund works. And my next question would be about the SMEs. From the fund, as you engage the funds that you invest in, what do they share with you about the SMEs who come in for assistance, or what are some of the things that you hear?
So, joining the trust fund last year, my first ever industry conference I participated in, which was organized by the Ghana Venture Capital Association, I observed a very interesting remark by one founder about the fact that her business is her dream, is her everything. And from the way she described her business, one could clearly see the emotional connection, attachment to the business and what she's doing. But when we talk about equity financing simply implies that, okay, I invest in you, you give me a portion of your business by way of decision making. You give me a seat at the table. So together, because I have my money locked in to your business, we help the business to operate well, to break even, to grow, and to scale. But one challenge I've realized is it's a thinking that gradually we have to help decontaminate, which is the need to learn how to build partnerships. Regardless of whether, of course, yes, it is your dream, you dreamt about putting up or establishing this business, you succeed to the extent of your partnership. And where you would require, liquidity being injected into your business, and whoever would want to inject liquidity into your business would equally want to ensure that we do the proper things. Financial reporting, you have systems in place that would safeguard the protection, the investment, and ensure that it changes the business. The turnaround comes for us to see. But you could see that there is always that pushback to opening up oneself, to inviting others to come into the business in a partnership form so we grow together. Indeed, the biggest brands you see, those we see as the faces of the big brands globally, sometimes relative to their shares in these companies, even not up to 1%, some 0.6, 0.3, but it's because they understand the transformative power, the catalytic power of partnership. And it is one major thing that I have observed, learned in my, reasonably young, how many months at the Venture Capital Trust Fund, that there is the need for us to have that conversation, that businesses must learn to open up, must learn to appreciate partnership, because you can't, and you see, the beauty about partnership is this: where you fall, where becomes your weakness, fortunately, you may have a partner in there who may provide the strength that you need in order to work together as a business. And so when an equity financier comes into the business, it is simply to make it succeed, to make it grow. If today you're making a profit of, let's say, 10 cedis, with such partnership, when you do 100 cedis subsequently, it means your share of the pot even becomes larger and bigger than when you used to be the only one managing the affairs of the business. And so it is one major experience I have learned from last year and has been part of my conversations advising promoters, innovators, businessmen and women across board.
Right. Your outfit deals with money, a lot of money. How do we ensure transparency and accountability in the disbursement of these monies or the investments that you make into these funds? How do you ensure transparency and accountability with that?
So, like I mentioned, we have the Independent Investment Committee.
Okay.
And so the funds approach Venture Capital Trust Fund seeking to establish, let's say, an Ebankese fund or an Ejumera fund, for instance. And so they come with their proposal, with their application. Our investment team will do the legal due diligence, the financial due diligence. So there's a whole due diligence that we do on the funds that apply to us. That is even the first layer. And that usually takes months, actually. Sometimes between the fastest we've done in the history of the trust fund, maybe around 3 months. But usually, traditionally, 6 to 12 months.
It takes
actually,
time to go through all
do the
of
due
that.
diligence, because it's very important, both financial, legal, and operational as well. And that even is the first stage. Then it comes to the Independent Investment Committee. And then they as well conduct their due diligence processes by engaging, of course, the investment department of the Venture Capital Trust Fund, and where it matters, the funds that the fund managers that have applied to Venture Capital Trust Fund for support into their fund. So the system is very rigorous because we know that we are dealing with public, money. And you have a board that is, our board chair is Dr. Daniel Sedo, the current board chair. He is known in the financial sector. He's a professional at his work, and I think it is a good appointment that was made to the Venture Capital Trust Fund, and together we are working, ensuring that there is transparency, there is accountability in all we do.
Okay, so in all you do, the eyes are on there to see that everything is done very well. We're going to be talking about the 24-hour economy, and that is obviously one of the biggest, if not the biggest, promises of this particular government. How does the Venture Capital Trust Fund come in with the 24-hour economy? How do you align?
Great. So the Venture Capital Trust Fund clearly has been grateful to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for designating us as one of the equity financing institutions on the 24-hour economy and, of course, accelerated export development program. We also see this as a great opportunity to be part of history, because when you analyze the 24-hour economy program, clearly it is a transformative agenda to restructure the fundamentals of our economy, where we ensure that there is increased productivity, businesses work 24/7 around the clock, and of course, export what we produce. We add value and then export what we produce. The Venture Capital Trust Fund engaged the 24-hour economy secretariat. Think about a month ago, we signed a memorandum of understanding to begin the formalization of our partnership.
Okay.
And we are seeking to raise a 200 million Ghana cedi fund, which is a 24-hour economy SME fund, to support businesses that are willing to operate 24/7 around the clock, increase productivity, and of course for accelerated export. And so we're already in talks with some pension funds to come in onto the fund that we are establishing to support businesses in the 24-hour economy program. And then talking about invitation to the pension funds or the pension industry to invest into this fund, there is this pension company or firm called Axis Pension Fund. Axis Pension Fund is one of our investee companies. I mean, these are young guys, young entrepreneurs, I mean, with a passion to set up a pension firm in Ghana. They approached one of our funds, and one of our funds invested in them. And today the beauty is that we have exited from that investment. Axis Pension Funds is doing very well in the pension industry, and Axis Pension Fund is actually now co-investing with the Venture Capital Trust Fund in a number of our funds to support SMEs in Ghana.
Okay.
So we see our participation on the 24-hour economy program as one of a strategic one, which gives us the opportunity to be active players, participants in supporting businesses, particularly along the agriculture and agribusiness value chain. And when you listen to our colleagues from the 24-hour economy authority, you could clearly see the intention of how we intend to revamp non-productive sectors to be more productive, and more particularly, for instance, the Volta Corridor Enclave. It's a huge opportunity line out there for agriculture, agribusiness, manufacturing, and of course, export.
How soon are we seeing this?
So we have started the fundraising conversations, and so on our part, as far as Venture Capital Trust Fund is concerned, ours is to ensure that the port is available to support these businesses.
Okay.
Of course, the first stage and hurdle is the fundraising, which we've started now.
Okay. We have a few minutes to go, just about 2 minutes to go. It's been interesting hearing what the fund has been doing. And what's the outlook for the future like? What should we be expecting from you? How many months in office?
Well, so a year, March.
A year. Oh, we already,
March
is ending already. So a year already in the office, and you've talked about these things that you're doing. But when you got into the role as the CEO, were there things that had happened from the past where you had to change certain things, and going forward, that's the vision that you want the fund to go by?
Great. So, of course, it was clear to me that we needed to properly align to Government of Ghana programming initiatives. So the 24-hour economy SME fund is just one of them. We are seeking to also establish the Ejimera Fund. We have the Ejimera program, which is being implemented by the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, headed by my good friend Eric Ajay. Recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, His Excellency the President awarded support to some beneficiaries, over 400 or so in Ashanti region. And we are already having conversations with the NAIP team for us to come in at a strategic point.
Okay.
So where the disbursements have been made by NAIP to these beneficiaries, and any of them show promise relative to their businesses, I mean, the business having huge potential, then the Ejimera Fund that we are seeking to establish will now be deployed to, of course, help them to grow and scale. So the Ejimera Fund is one of the funds that we are establishing at the Venture Capital Trust Fund. Again, when it comes to the ecosystem work, so we have a mandate, as I mentioned, we have a twofold mandate.
We have 30 seconds to go.
One is to help develop Ghana's venture capital private equity ecosystem in Ghana. And so we've done some reforms, some rethinking as to how we can better serve the ecosystem.
Okay.
And I think partnerships with the Ghana Venture Capital Association, Impact Invest in Ghana, and a few of the players in the ecosystem is doing the magic largely. And so we would want to take this opportunity as well to invite the media to be interested in the venture capital private equity ecosystem and what we do and the transformative power of the ecosystem to see our economic and, of course, development prospects as a nation.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming and sharing the insights from the fund with all of us Ghanaians who watch the show. today, but definitely we need to visit the office
tomorrow.
Okay. So my producer, you heard that. Let's find a way get to understand how things happened, happen on the ground. Thank you very much, Lawyer Michael.
Most grateful.
Yeah.
I think the last time I came here was in 2024. I mean, I've been a regular panelist on the Inside Pages. And great to be here once again. Thank you very much, my friend.
You're welcome. Right, so many thanks to all of you for watching the show today. It's a pleasure coming your way. Always on Good Afternoon Ghana. Do well to log on to our website, www.metrotvonline.com, for the latest news stories, and also our social media platforms, Metro TV Ghana on Facebook, on TikTok, on X, yes, and also on Instagram, and 94.1 FM on radio. Many thanks for listening. My name is Desmond Okurekudan. So that's where I wrap up for the show today. We're back tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Metro TV. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.
This International Women's Day, Metro TV, Original TV and Original FM spark a conversation that shapes our future. In a world of moral uncertainty, women are demanding ethical clarity, principled leadership and real change.